it is that time of year again. We are officially into fall, and that means that we've got our fall allergies. I know my beloved friend is already back again this year. So, trying to take care of that. Dr. Patel is with us now from Premier Allergy and Asthma to explain what we're allergic to, what's going on. So, fall season, what are the allergens out there?
Ragweed season is usually what we're seeing in the fall. So for all those people that have allergies, they don't really get a break in the fall either. Usually it'll be when it gets a little bit cooler when we'll stop with the pollen. But for now, allergy sufferers still have a few weeks to go.
And so, what are some of the tips that you have in order to get around this? How do we avoid the ragweed that's out there, the pollen?
Yeah, so ragweed is tough. One plant of ragweed can produce billions of spores, and so it's really a tough allergy to get rid of. And the spores are so small, so they travel really far in the wind. As you were saying, allergies can act up. Asthma can even act up. It can get into your nasal passages. It can get into your lungs and trigger allergy symptoms for those that are allergic to ragweed. So it's a really tough allergy to have, especially this time of year. When the weather's nice, that's when we're really going to see the pollen counts be a little bit higher. So in the last couple of weeks, we've had some really great weather, but the pollen counts for ragweed have also been really high. We've gotten a little bit of a break right now, just with all the rain. So the counts have been lower. And I think for the next few days, ragweed sufferers should be okay because the counts will be a little bit lower. But once that weather starts to get warm again, we might start to see more pollen.
I know it's such a hard situation because you want it to be really nice weather, but when it is, you're kind of at risk here. So me, I take like the regular allergy medicine and I have an inhaler for when it's messing with my asthma. Some people, like even in my family, I know have done like the allergy shots. How does that really work? And I know a lot of people get kind of worried about them just because of, what it is. And some say it takes a long time in order to keep going with that.
Yeah, so I think, if you are wondering if you have a ragweed allergy, I think it's important to get tested and figure out for sure exactly what your triggers are. So if you are someone where every fall you have a little bit of a runny nose or congestion, you may think it's just a cold, or if it's kind of a cold that never goes away, it could very well be allergies. So I think testing is important just to kind of confirm what we're dealing with. Once you've confirmed that we are dealing with allergies, there's lots of over-the-counter options to treat your symptoms. Over-the-counter antihistamines, decongestants, nasal sprays, sinus rinses, all of those things can help your symptoms. Once you've done that and you're still having symptoms, there are other options that we can help you with. That's where you can go to an allergist and they can desensitize you basically. So once we know exactly what you're allergic to, we can desensitize you to those exact pollens so that you're not relying on medications and your body's able to kind of naturally fight off these symptoms.
I'm sure something that's complicating just it's been complicated the last year or two is COVID. And now the Delta variant basically having almost every symptom under the sun. And a lot of them are pretty mild and resemble allergies. So still, how do we know the difference? And what are you recommending to people in order to figure that out?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're kind of in this trifecta in the fall, right? We've got back to school, we've got viruses, we've got allergies, and then COVID on top of all of that. And the symptoms can be there's a lot of overlap with all of those symptoms. So typically with allergies, it's primarily going to be sneezing, runny nose, congestion, itchy, watery eyes, drainage. You can have a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of sore throat. There may be some seasonality to it. So if it's, when the pollen counts are high, that's when you notice your symptoms are at their worst. That could be a clue that this is from allergies. As you know, regular cold symptoms have a lot of those symptoms too. So sneezing, runny, stuffy nose, sore throat. And then with COVID, they can be a little bit more severe, a little bit more of the fever, intense fatigue, and those body aches. But if you have any of those symptoms, testing would be best, figuring out, going to see your doctor, figuring out the symptoms, figuring out what kind of testing you need to have done.
Now, given the people that you see on a regular basis and their symptoms, have you guys had a more difficult time deciding who comes in and who doesn't to be seen for their symptoms?
Yeah. And I think in this day and age, a lot of them are already coming in saying, hey, you know what? I already had my COVID test done. It's negative. I know it's not COVID. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's allergies. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just like, I need some help. All right. So, um, I appreciate your help. I know that like this is probably one of the hardest times of the year for you guys because of everything that's going on. So
Yeah.
I appreciate all that, and hopefully everyone starts to feel better soon.
So too. You
Yeah.
guys take care.
Thanks.